Working on getting it set up. All right. Now I'm going to go to the YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
We're,
I've got it.
are we live?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, son of a gun. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Lawrence Owen. I am with Harrison Woods, UK Colts. I did not mean to click go live early. I was just actually testing. I can't believe it went live. I curious. What do you guys think of this? We will get into that and with the actual discussion on what the offensive scheme might look like right after this.
All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I am back, and I have a question. Is there a any kind of an echo or anything of that nature? Joe, what's going on? Joe, I see you in the live chat. Appreciate you being here. And hey, my live chat on my Streamlabs is actually working. So I won't be able to Nano 505, what's going on? What do you guys think of this? Do you like this situation that I've got going on right now? Sarah, appreciate you being here. Harrison, you're watching this. What do you think of the presentation?
It's new. I like it. It's different, isn't it? It's crazy. Like seeing it live firsthand. No, I think it's worth it, man. I like it.
That's cool. Okay, so Sean P, what's going on? Appreciate you being here in as well. Also, there is announcements. As you see up there in the upper corner, there is all the things that has happened as of late. As you see, Ant Rogers, which is A, Ross, and Joe are my monthly Patreons. That is actually up there. That is freaking awesome. Anytime someone joins, whether or not it's joining my Patreon, buy something from my merch shop, which, by the way, is in the description below, posts any kind of a donation tip through StreamYards, does any kind of super chat or super sticker, will also go right up there in that corner, and it will, scroll down. And, of course, there will be a little announcement. You see the little blank black space sitting there in the bottom right hand of the screen. There's little gifts and stuff that will happen whenever something happens. And there'll be a noise, an announcement noise and stuff like that. So this is very interesting. I said that I was working on something brand spanking new. And if you like it, great. Please hit that like button. All right. And then if you don't like it, hit the dislike button. And then in the comments, let me know why you dislike it. Okay. Another thing, I'm sorry, Harrison. This is a new announcement for me, so I know I got you.
Keep going.
One thing I won't be able to do is highlight your guys' chat, but I see your chat right here, so I can bring it up and talk to you guys. As a matter of fact, I don't even have it up, so. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, I see your chat, so I could bring it up and announce, say something, as you could tell. So, yes, I saw that, Sarah. Sam Darnold, she says, is traded today to the Panthers. That is something that we will most likely go over a little bit afterwards, after we talk about the Indianapolis Colts. But to get into the actual Colts stuff, let's go ahead and get into it. Harrison brought up the topic to me before I went live today when he actually got a hold of me, I don't know, a few hours ago and was like, hey, you want to do a collab? And I was like, funny you should mention that. I planned on trying something new today, right? So, yeah. So he brought up, what's the Colts offensive scheme going to be like this 2021 NFL season? And that is an interesting question because we have a new quarterback, right? And we've got a very deep running back roster. That stable is very, very solid. If Marlon Mack is even 90% of what he was before that Achilles tear, this running back stable is going to be nasty. So you can see the running backs utilized in multiple ways that we haven't seen before. And then, of course, Carson Wentz and his ability to move and be mobile, that's going to help a lot too. What are your thoughts, Harrison, on what you think that the Colts scheme-wise, how you think that they will actually be playing this year more often? Maybe something new that we haven't seen since maybe the Luck era, or even different than that?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of run the damn ball. Have been since it started trending, since Big Nasty Q wore that hat. We are a punch in the mouth team, and you look at last season, when we went away from running the ball, we sort of lost our way a bit, and teams caught on and teams figured out how to beat us. But that being said, we have a new quarterback who seems to be loving life in Indianapolis. I was watching the Pat McAfee show before I came on, and he was saying him and T.Y. Hilton are working on some special things. So I don't want to get hopes up too early, but maybe we can just see a bit of that connection, like T.Y. had with Andrew. That'd be nice. But I think every scheme's been different. I can't remember who said it, but every scheme for every quarterback, Frank Reich has done something different. So I'm hoping for something completely new, to be honest, Lawrence.
Yeah, it could be. If you wouldn't mind, keep talking. I'm going to go ahead and share the stream now as an announcement to a couple of the social media platforms that I have. So, what do you think about with Carson Wentz and the running backs? How do you think that we'll see? Do you think we'll see a lot more RPOs, traditional RPOs, maybe like what we've seen from I don't know, like Seattle runs, maybe?
Personally, I'm not a fan of RPOs and little swing passes. They rarely break big. When they do break big, it's nice, but they rarely break big. There was one play last year, which we did with, I'm pretty sure it was Nahi Himes. We faked to run one way, and then Phillip Rivers passed it up and over the top. I think it was against the Raiders, and then Naheem ran it in. More of that, and with Carson now we can run more bootleg trickery, a few more play actions, different schemes. We can afford to keep him in the pocket, but also if he needs to escape, we can let everybody else do the work for him. Unlike when he was at Philly, where he just couldn't stay in the pocket. With the running backs, it's competition. You want competition everywhere. And I feel like Jonathan Taylor's going to bring the best out of Marlon Mack, and Marlon Mack's going to bring the best out of Nahi Himes and Wilkins, and they're all going to bring the best out of each other. So I think we can't stray away from running the ball because of how powerful our room is at the minute. So it's a tough one, but I think run the damn ball every day.
Oh, yeah, well, obviously, I think that we should be running the ball a lot, right? I mean, that's just straight up obvious. But running the ball with the setup that we have could open up that run-pass option with Wentz, which could really free up some of our deep threats. I mean, Michael Pittman Jr. is a deep threat, believe it or not. He's got enough speed to break out. T.Y. Hilton with Carson Wentz will be very similar to T.Y. Hilton with Luck, possibly. Now, the age difference is there, obviously. T.Y. Hilton is now 30, whereas, he was in his early 20s with Luck. but he's still a very dangerous guy when it comes to that RPO or the play action pass. And then, of course, Paris Campbell, incredibly dangerous. Now, the question is, are we going to be seeing more of Michael Pittman Jr. and Zach Pascal on the field than what we normally do, just because of the fact that we like to run the damn ball?
I hope so. I'm a big fan of Zach Pascal. He had a massive breakout year the past season just gone. He really stepped up. And I wouldn't say we didn't have a one receiver, but Ty was not his best due to injuries, due to COVID. So Zach Pascal really took it on his shoulders to stand up and be that receiver. So I hope we see a lot more of Zach on the field, and Pittman's a stud. We need to utilize this guy for him to develop properly. And just with flashes of him, he saved a couple of interceptions. He saved Rivers from getting a couple more interceptions than what he should have had. So he's big, tall guy, big, deep threat, fast. And Ty, like you said, the guy's 30. And with the guys around him, we no longer need Ty to ghost him that secondary layer. I know that's his speciality, but let's get him route running, let's get him hitching, let's get him slanting, in routes, drag routes. Because you run underneath with Ty and over the top with Michael Pittman, the defense are just going to look at each other wondering who to cover.
Yeah, that is true. Nano 505 and Chris Troger both make a big point that Carson Wentz makes Ty a deep threat. I mean, because Wentz has a much stronger arm, So throwing the football in the further down the field, especially on the sidelines, we watched last year where Phillip Rivers, as accurate as that man is in short passes, I mean, he can lead a receiver like nobody's business, but he had problems throwing it into a tight space down the field because he just couldn't get the ball there fast enough. He could get it there, just couldn't get it there fast enough, whereas Carson Wentz has the arm to do that. So you legitimately could see a lot more deep passes, I believe, with Wentz. Now, is Wentz going to have the accuracy Rivers does? I don't expect that. I don't expect the accuracy, but I do expect that if he flashes open for a moment, that he should be able to hit him downfield. Not just him, but anyone that gets deep as well. Paris Campbell or Pittman or anybody for that matter. Drag routes this year could be evil with this running game. Thornburg says, what are your thoughts about drag routes, the short little crossing routes, or just run straight across the backside of the line of scrimmage for guys like Campbell and Ty and those with the play action?
Can be very lethal. Whoever said the comment, sorry, who was it? Joseph, yeah, very, very lethal. Especially if Paris Campbell can stay healthy. Thinking about it for a second, the drag route, you could go 5 wide, and with a 5 wide of Jonathan Taylor, Paris Campbell, T.Y. Hill, and Mike Pittman, and then you've got an all-star offensive line. Just teams are gonna. If we can really get it clicking in the preseason, come week 1, teams are going to be in trouble. Teams are not going to want to come down to Indy and play Indy because I think it's a really underrated core as well. That's what I've got hope for. It's a really underrated receiving core. T.Y. Hilton is constantly underrated. Bearing in mind he's something like 400 yards off 10,000. That's mental, Yeah. For obvious reasons, Carson needs to prove himself. We all know that. Zach Pascal, I thought he was excellent last year, but again, quiet because he plays for Indianapolis. Any media team, he plays for the Cowboys or the Giants, to say who are the media teams. He gets a lot more press. So I say let him keep sleeping on us.
Okay. Terrence Cooper, thanks also for joining. Jalen Williams, appreciate you being here. Yeah, I do believe that Ty could have a a resurgence, but I think Michael Pittman and Paris Campbell will probably be the big targets. Now the question is, will Ty get enough targets to get that 10,000 yard mark? That's a question, right? Because we've only got him for one more year. Is Ty going to get the 640 he needs in yardage? I mean, legitimately, I don't see how he can't, but at the same time, because Ty's just T.Y. Hilton. You don't see him getting less than 600 yards in a year. But that's my thought process. What do you think? Do you think Ty breaks that, or do you think he might need another year if he's not one of the top targets that the Colts have this year for Wentz?
If I'm correct in saying we played the Texans in the NRG Stadium or whatever it's called, he's getting 1,000 yards in that game. So
1,000 yards. Okay, so you heard it here first.
I don't know what the odds are on that. I'd love to see. But, of course we'd love Ty to get to that 10,000. That would make the Colts the first franchise in history to have 3 different receivers over 10,000 yards. And that's just, I know it's not a Super Bowl, it's not a championship, but it's still a little bit of pride to have something in. So, and like you said, Lawrence, let's not forget he's the ghost, T.Y. Hilton. He's not just T.Y. Hilton, he's the ghost. He can get in that second level. He's caught in, all of a sudden people are going, where did he come from? Because he just comes out of nowhere. I remember, I want to say it was a 2018 wild card against the Texans. And looked through it into triple coverage even, and he still caught it somehow, sliding. I thought, this guy he's up, he's going to be in that Hall of Fame debate, whether he's, because he's not won a Super Bowl, so it's always going to be that debate, but he's definitely Ring of Honor when he retires.
Now, do you think that the Colts might end up utilizing, honestly, I would love to see the Colts use a lot of 22 personnel. A lot of people want to talk about 12 personnel, but 12 personnel is 1 running back, 2 tight ends. 22 would be 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. I would love to see the 22 personnel, and with the wide receiver either being Michael Pittman or Zach Pascal in that, blocking game.
Yeah.
And utilizing that, and that would create RPOs big time, okay? Because we have receivers or running backs that can catch the football. Marlon Mack showed that in 2019 he can catch the football. Jonathan Taylor has shown that he can catch the football last year and explode for big yardage. Nyheim Hines is one of the best out there, in my opinion, when it comes as a running back receiving the football out of the backfield. And when you have 2 tight ends like Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox sitting out in front, perhaps we get Zach Ertz or somebody else in the draft or something. Who knows? But I'm just saying what we have right now, along with the Pittman or Pascal out at wide receiver. That's a situation where it's great to run the football. That's an RPO situation where you could either hand the football off to one running back going up the gut, or hold on and then pitch it to another running back running on a stretch play because the linebackers creep in to stop that gut run. Or you could fake both and then throw the football, to the tight ends who we know, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers, who we all know the Colts, quite frankly, are pretty good in a 22 personnel when it comes to receiving. So I think that I would love to see a 22 personnel utilize the run-pass option, multiple run-pass option plays, like what I was talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. I think that would be something that Frank Reich has not been able to use in his scheme, and I think it's something that he could utilize quite a bit this year. What's up, Scared? Appreciate you being here. Hey, if anyone, just before you answer that question, I got a few people in here now. Please don't forget, like this stream if you enjoy my new setup, okay? Check out the description in the video below where it has places where you could follow me, and obviously my merch shop. Please don't forget, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Hit that notification bell so you're notified next time I go live. And don't forget, I have super chats open. So, will you want to go ahead and answer that for me, man?
Yeah, I will do. I'd love to see it. I mean, we inherently struggled on third downs last year. Um, and with the lack of Philip Rivers' mobility, that really hindered us. No offense to Philip, great quarterback, but everyone knows he wasn't the fastest. Probably a guy in a wheelchair with one leg would be faster. So, I mean, I would love to see it. And we all know Frank Reich, his nickname is the Riverboat Gambler. Leg. And you look at the Philly special, for example, this guy could come up with some ingenious plays, what we haven't really seen before. And you take a third and 7 or something, for example, you've got Hilton or Pittman out wide, and then you've got one running back. The defense automatically know, well, if he doesn't run it, it's going to Hilton. Now you've got Hilton out wide, but then you've got Jonathan Taylor and Marlon Mack either side of Carson Wentz. All of a sudden, the defense goes, well, he can either pass it, he can either run one way, run the other way, take it himself, or set up a play action. It just opens up several doors, let's say, for changing on the fly. Something that, Peyton and Philip Rivers were great at, changing on the line of scrimmage. So I'd love to see it, and I think we will see it. Maybe not early in the season because Frank Reich likes to keep his cards close to his chest. We saw that this year. We really only exploded in offense in the last 7-6 games. So we might not see what we want to see straight away, but I still think we will see it. That made sense.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say I had a post by Vicarious, a Patriots fan, had some jokes saying that he thinks that the Colts will run a 14 personnel, 1 running back, 4 tight ends. I don't think that's going to happen. I think a 41 personnel might happen. You could legitimately see 1 tight end and 4 running backs sitting back there because the Colts running back stable is that deep. I don't expect it. And if it happened, my jaw would probably hit the floor. But we've got the personnel to do it, I think, right? Terrence, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you being here, bud. He says, if tight end is an option later in the draft, Brevin Jordan or Pat Fryermuth, I believe is that, from Penn State, could be scary in a Colts uniform. You know what? Tight ends is a situation that I think the Colts could draft. We really haven't seen drafts from Pollard when it comes to tight ends, and this could be that season. I mean, I could see, obviously, left tackle, pass rush, cornerback. Those are very, very important. He's probably going to grab a wide receiver at some point because he always does. Maybe a linebacker in there somewhere for depth. But tight end, definitely a situation that I think in this season, especially with the fact that right now we're just looking at contracts are kind of getting a little skimpy right now for the Colts. Obviously, we got like Nelson, Smith, and Leonard that need extensions. Kelly just got his extension not long ago. Doyle's getting up there in age. Allie Cox is just running off of a restricted free agent 1-year deal right now, hoping for a breakout season, get himself a little bit of money in the upcoming off season. Trimble from Notre Dame. Okay. Do you watch American college football there, Harrison?
I watch some of it. We don't get as much coverage as we do the NFL. I tend to watch Ohio State. They are my team, I'd say, and that is simply because of Malik Hooker. He was the first player that I followed pre-draft, through the draft to the Colts, and obviously in his injury-prone season, unfortunately. So yeah, if anything, I'm a Ohio fan. I couldn't tell you much about college football. Just simply, we don't get the coverage. I wish we did. We get a lot of meaningless games, like dead rubber games, because your big networks don't want to pay for them, so they sort of fleet them off to us. But that's about as much as I know about college football.
Well, I understand. I mean, you're out in the United Kingdom, so college football is a bit difficult to get into. I will watch it if I have the ability to, but generally I don't, because college football and the NFL come on at the same time for me. Being an aspect of it's during those, seasonal things, and I'm really busy generally looking at film and doing content for the NFL. So my college games I start watching after free agency started. Now I've been watching some college games as of late. So I know some of the names that are out there. Joseph says, boo. I'm assuming, Joseph, you mean it sucks that he can't get that many college games. Not that, he doesn't because he can't. Or I don't know, express yourself. Maybe it has to do with Neil Maslin's comment right here that says left tackle is the top priority. I don't think left tackle is the top priority, right? I honestly think that defensive end pass rush is the top priority. Now, is left tackle a priority? Absolutely. It is a priority. But I don't think it's something that we absolutely have to spend our first round draft pick on or move up for or anything of that nature. I think that it is a position, because of how deep it is in this draft, that I think it could be gotten in the second round. What's up, Jason David? Harrison, what are your thoughts on the top two priorities?
With what Ballard's done in free agency, picking up a lot of spare parts, let's say, no offense to them guys, but these are guys who have made a career and being spare parts around the league, Sam Tevy and all them lot. He's done a clever thing by directing away the attention. So everyone thought, oh yeah, the Colts are going offensive line, the Colts are going left tackle, they're going to want etc. Chris Ballard's done the clever thing and sort of got the attention away from his team. And that's what you need coming into the draft. So do I think we pick up a left tackle in the first round? Probably not. Like you said, it's a deep talented draft class at the minute.
Yeah, Dino Molino kind of agrees with us, it seems.
Yeah. So Chris Ballard, for some reason, is an expert at getting guys to fall to him. I don't know how he does it, but you look at last year's draft, he got Eason, Pittman, and Taylor all somehow to fall to him. So maybe even third round for a left tackle. And it's a bit of a stretch, but you know what the draft's like. If the Colts don't take a left tackle in the first, all of a sudden everyone panics and goes, well, they didn't take a left tackle, and everyone starts saying, what's wrong with these left tackles? So I think I'm with you. Now, I know we talked about it a couple of weeks back or whatever it was, but I think I'm with you. Edge is definitely priority.
Okay, so now when it comes to, so David was sitting there talking, yes, sir, I think left tackle is the top, because if they don't get a left tackle early, the good ones will go in the early second round. Now, here's what I'm thinking is the problem. Early in the first round, I think quarterbacks are going to go like crazy. Yeah. I think that because of how deep the tackle position is, I think it's going to get ignored early on by most NFL teams because there is a limitation of star products at other positions that are important, such as pass rush, such as safeties and things of that nature. So you might see a run on those other ones, and the left tackle, for the most part, be ignored until the second round. I get that it could be gone early in the second. Who knows? Maybe there will be a trade back, right? Maybe Ballard trades back in the first and is able to gain more ammo for the draft at that point, to be able to do another trade up in the second because he don't have that third round pick. Who knows? I don't know. Jason David asks, what's going on with Orlando Brown Jr.? Orlando Brown Jr. currently has a ton of suitors. That's what's going on with Orlando Brown Jr. There are at least 6 different teams vying for him. He is one of the only free agents that are out there, and I don't think, is he a free agent? I don't think he's a free agent. I think he's just for trades. But anyhow, there's a ton of teams out there trying to get him right now. And so it's really kind of a bidding war going on. So, yeah, you may not see this Brown get traded until after the draft and teams more know what they have available. But yeah, I get what you're saying, David, or Jason. Depends on the picks, 18, 19, and 20, and really who's available for us at 21, right? I mean, that's just facts of the matter. So, well, heck, I haven't had any kind of thing that pop up to show an announcement other than, just regular chat. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Don't forget, I do have my merch shop. Please like this stream because, man, quite frankly, I do this for you guys, and I need votes from you. Do you like my new setup, or do you not like my new setup? Because if you like this new setup, I will continue to bring this setup, or I could just go back to the plain old StreamYard way that I was going about things. You've had a little bit of time, Harrison, sitting here watching this. Do you like the old StreamYard way, or do you like this way more?
Embrace the new. Always embrace the new. I watch a lot of streamers, Twitch, YouTube, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I like it. I like the interaction. This feels more interactive with the fans. Like you said, and it's only going to grow. So I'd stick with it. Stick with the new and be the trendsetter.
Yeah. I don't know of any other Colts podcast streamers that do anything quite like this. So, I actually pay for this software.
Yeah.
And so that's why I am, it comes with my merch shop and this software and a bunch of other stuff. So I thought I'd go ahead and use it. David said, wait, hold on. Let's go back to Dino. I hope that's your name, Dino, and it's not like Dino or something, because if it is, then my apologies for chopping it up. Dino Molino. You can guarantee that Ballard is hurting, that he has no third round pick this year. And I know. But I mean, to give up a third round pick initially to get Carson Wentz was a no brainer, right? I mean, yeah, it's got to. And if Carson Wentz plays the way us Colts fans are hoping he's going to be able to play, with a better team around him, a better organization, a better locker room, the brass that has a belief in him, Frank Reich obviously there, all these things that are just yelling Carson Wentz should play better. If he plays to the way we expect him to, then a third and a first is way worth it, right? I mean, that's no question, right? I mean, if the man goes out there and balls out and has, even if he played like his 2019 self with 20-some touchdowns to 7 interceptions, and a pretty good completion percentage, like the first 3 quarters of that 2019 season, I'm okay with him. I just don't want to see last year where he had no offensive line help, no receiver help. Him and the coach weren't talking. Him and the GM weren't talking. So, yeah, I mean, there was so much stuff against him during Philadelphia that I think Carson Wentz should do just fine. Hey! Just plain folks in here. Great to see the international flavor today, Lawrence and Harrison. Thanks so much.
Nice to see you.
Appreciate you being here. What do you think, just plain folks, of this new setup that I've got going? Do you like this, or do you think this is something that maybe I should go back to the way I was? I was just, trying something new. Jason David says Dolphins, Bengals, Chargers, Kansas City, Minnesota, Raiders, Bears all need tackles. Yeah, possibly. There's more than just that, I think, though. Jalen Williams says that Tevin is a right tackle or a guard in the NFL level. Unless you move Smith to left tackle, the Colts wouldn't do that. No. Okay. Talking about what if Tevin Jenkins falls to 21. I don't know. We're going to see what happens in the draft, right? I mean, it's less than a month away, and it'll be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm. It's always unknown, isn't it? The draft.
Yeah.
You can do what you want, but it's always unknown. Nobody knows.
And especially when you get past the first half of the draft. Half of the first round. It's guesswork. And the further on you get, the more guesswork it is. And generally, once you get past the second round, you have no idea what your GM is going to do, especially if his name is Chris freaking Ballard, right? I mean, that man, the only pick that the majority of Colts fans got right was when he selected Quentin Nelson, number 6, right?
Yeah.
After any other pick other than that, there was a few people out there was like, I know one person that was like Darius Leonard. One person. There was a few of us out there that was like Michael Pittman Jr. Now I was up with somebody else, but Michael Pittman I was okay with. But yeah, when it comes to Ballard in the draft, you have no clue what he's going to do. He could end up his 21st pick. He could be excited as heck over a player being there that you and I might think ain't nothing but a 3rd or 4th round pick. I mean, he's done it. Like, a lot of us didn't think Darius Leonard was worthy of a 2nd round pick, right? What if he grabs someone like that and like, this dude is going to be a star, and then he plays that season, it blows up, and he looks like a genius again. I am not going to put it past him because that man has made me and a lot of other people look really, really stupid.
Yeah. It's not even just in the draft. You look at, DeForest Buckner for 1 first-round pick. Mm-hmm. That's scandalous. That's a mental trait to me. I tweet it every game week last season. I was tweeting it. DeForest Buckner is worth 10 first-round picks because he's just an animal. So I know the early comment about him not having a 3rd-round pick this year is hurting, but if his track record trading players for picks is anything to go off, then I'm more than happy.
Yeah. I agree. Speedboat states that our offense is going to be a 3-headed running back monster fest. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree on that. And quite frankly, we'll have 4 running backs. We're going to keep Jordan Wilkins, I'll guarantee you, for the season. Last year, having 4 made sense due to injury concerns, and it was smart because, well, Marlon Mack went down week 1, right? So you never know. So having all 4 of those guys back there will be a huge benefit. And, I mean, you got to remember, unless Nyheim Hines signs an extension this year, we only have 1 running back on our roster that is contracted through the end of this season, and that's 2nd-year running back Jonathan Taylor, right?
Yeah.
Marlon Mack has signed a 1-year deal. Nyheim Hines and Jordan Wilkins are both on the 4th year of their rookie contracts. So unless something happens, we've only got 1 running back on our roster for next season. Do you re-sign Nyheim Hines, Harrison, and for how much do you think he'd be worth?
Wow, that's a tough one, isn't it? That's a tough one because you've also got Marlon Mack on a prove-it deal. And, oh, God. Of course, I'd love to sign Nyheim Hines. If he has another season like he did last year, do I think we could give him the money that he deserved? No. That's football, that's business. I'd hold nothing against him if he went and got more money somewhere else. So, I mean, hopefully Chris Ballard and Jim Irsay can work the magic and Frank can work the magic with Nyheim and say, look, we might not be able to give you the big payday next year, but, his signing bonus, voidable years, all that jazz, just trust us. Because I'd love to sign. I think he was absolutely brilliant, Nyheim. And also, if we manage to re-sign him, what that opens up and what a lot of players, a lot of people forgot about is actually someone else on the other side of the ball, Isaiah Rodgers, who's a cornerback, a fast, speedy, hit power cornerback. Which, let's be honest, we've got all 4 guys in the running back room, so that means one of them's going to be punt returning, kick returning, almost guaranteed. So that sort of frees up Isaiah Rodgers to go and play ball. So it is important to try and keep hold of at least 3 of the 4 running backs, I'd say. But these guys are going to want mega deals when it comes to it.
All right, so Jason Davis says 3 years at $5.3 million a year. Sarah says 4 years at $6 million a year. So we're looking at right around between $5 and $6 million. I don't disagree with that. 3-4 year deal, somewhere between $5 and $6 million seems about what Hines is worth. You kind of look at some of the other running backs, what the Chargers did with theirs last season, giving him that extension. It was a 3 or 4 year deal for $6 million a year. Now it depends also because the NFL is stating that they're expecting to have full operating stands in the NFL stadiums this year, so that will be a huge amount of money. Just Plain Folks actually brought that up to us over the weekend during my birthday stream. By the way, everyone that was there, thank you so much. I had a blast. Yeah, I could see that. Now, if they run with full amount of availability, now some might not be able to, like, on the coasts. San Francisco might not even be playing in San Francisco like they did at the end of the year last year. They may have to, the Niners might be playing in Arizona at the beginning of the year. Who knows, But Indianapolis, the Colts, you could legitimately see, because here in Indiana, the COVID is not as bad as some of the other places around the world or around the country for that matter, probably due to population density.
Yeah.
So we could see that as a possibility. Maybe not full stadiums, but I would be guessing more than just 1/4 stadiums. And that would help out a lot with the cap next year. Maybe we won't take that massive hit like we did this past season. And then maybe we'll have a little extra money to be able to spend on a luxury like Nyheim Hines. Let's see. Am not sure what good two running backs. Jason, you're not sure what two good running backs does for you nowadays? I'll explain it. Well, first off, Hines and Taylor are two different type running backs. Completely different. So they're different styles. Very important. Most days in today's NFL, most teams run a 2 running back system. The reason for being that is it helps keep the health of both your running backs. It allows them to stay fresh throughout the games and through the season because they're touching the ball a little bit less, getting more breathers, so that when they do touch the ball, they're performing at a higher level throughout the game rather than wearing down as the game goes on. Also, guys like Hines is a little bit different style, whereas he could, he's more of a speedster, catching the open field, do something with that. I get Jonathan Taylor as a speedster as well, but he is not as good side-to-side movement as Hines is. He's more of a run it up your gut, and then, he can break a tackle if he needs to. I mean, he has cuts, but I have yet to see Jonathan Taylor juke someone out of their shoes like Nyheim Hines has. I have seen Nyheim Hines put somebody just grasping for air in the middle of the field on an open reception, and that's a scary situation. What are your thoughts? Do we need to have 2 good running backs in our stable, or could we just rely on that heavy bell cow?
Yeah, 2, always 2 at least. You can't, look at last year, perfect example, Marlon Mack, freak injury out of nowhere to say. And then you've got Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines doing an excellent job. Like you say, different guys as well. It depends. If you want to get the ball out fast, you give it to Nyheim and let him juke out 3-4 people along the way. If you want to say, we're going to beat you in the trenches, you give it to the beast, that's Jonathan Taylor, and you just let him, wear down guys, break down guys. And when all of a sudden these linebackers who have come blitzing in and safeties who have rolled down to stop him are walled down in the game, you bring Nyheim Hines back in, it's gone for a touchdown before you know it. And look at the Browns, with Chubb and Hunt, just fantastic duo for the year. So, and I think we're going to see a lot more teams doing it now. One team has done it. I think as soon as somebody does it, everybody wants to do it. So I think we'll see a lot of teams now going with 2 heavily paid running backs, and it's going to cost elsewhere around the team, obviously, but I think it's just a price we have to pay.
Okay. Um. Oh, I missed some stuff here. Jason Giles, way back at the beginning. Appreciate you being here. For some reason, you were not showing up on my stream on the other thing, so I don't understand why that is. It probably has to do with all your little what are those called? Emojis,
Yeah.
I guess. So that could be why it's not showing up. But yeah, running backs just get hurt too often. I mean, we saw that with Marlon Mack last season. So you need someone there to back him up. And yes, a backup running back can be paid $5-6 million as long as your main running back isn't getting paid more than $6-7 million themselves. Because most running backs, teams have so much money that they could spend on a running back. And quite frankly, I would rather, like, let's go look at Carolina and Dallas and the Saints, where they're paying one running back $15 million a year, right? One running back, $15 million a year. Now, if you're paying two running backs $13 million a year, in my opinion, that's a better deal. Would you rather put all your eggs in one basket for an outstanding, oh my goodness, running back, or would you rather have just, two good running backs that can spell each other?
Two, I need that. Nothing's a sure thing in this league. That being a Colts fan, that's one thing I've learned. Nothing is a sure thing. And, look at the Cowboys, for example. I can't think of if it was last year or the year before when Zeke got a massive injury. And all of a sudden, they've got no running back. They've had to bring in third, fourth string rookies that aren't ready for the big leagues, to say. And it really cuts you short. So, like you said, I think it's just about keeping the guys happy. If Chris Ballard can get these guys to understand Jonathan Taylor, even Marley Mack, which is a possibility of having them two as a 1-1, saying to them two, you both take an $8 million year contract and you get 2 Super Bowls because I can build a better team around this.
Yeah.
It's all what the GM can do.
Tristan and Chris both stated that Jonathan Taylor did juke a linebacker in week. I'm assuming you're saying week 17, not week 16, against Jacksonville, because that was the week 17 game. But it's Jacksonville, okay, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't Miles Jack either. Even if it was Miles Jack, Jacksonville's defense is god awful right now. They've been trying to do what they can for him. Granted, they're still NFL players. They're still professionals, but it's still, he ran for 253 yards or 253 yards against Jacksonville. But again, it was Jacksonville. Great on Jonathan Taylor for running like that. Showed that he could do it. Now, let's see you run 150 yards on, I don't know, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when we play them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the Rams when, or something like that, because we play both those teams this season, and both those have very, very good run-stopping games. That's going to be a big key component to this upcoming season, is how well we run against those really good run teams, because it's going to be strength versus strength, and that's going to be a scary situation that we're going to have to walk into and go, are we going to be able to handle it, or are we going to have to lean towards the pass more, So, all right. So, again, man, I'm 50 minutes in, and I got 30 viewers. Thank you all. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, do me a huge favor and subscribe real quick, okay? Really, really appreciate it. Right now, I think I'm sitting at what am I, about 10 subscribers shy of 1,300, I think. But if you subscribe or do a super chat or anything of that nature, or get something out of my merch shop, which is down in the description, I want to test to see if that my thing over here pops up. Like I said, it's supposed to, you know. So even a subscription, even if you just subscribe to my YouTube channel, it should pop something up over there in the corner. And if it doesn't, let me know. All right, let's get back into what are we talking about here? David says, I'd like to see Ballard draft the left tackle at 21 and at 54. What are you going to do about pass rush then, Jason? Because currently, without a pass rush, this defense is a lot worse than what you think it actually is. I mean, it's bad right now without a pass rush. We were a top 10 defense because we were able to get pass rush at times. And our two starting pass rushers are gone, and we haven't replaced them yet. That's the scary thing. I mean, if our defense drops from a top 10 defense to like a 20 or 25 because we can't get any pressure on a quarterback, that's not a good situation. That means that we're going to have to throw, an additional 7 points a game on offense. Now, to make up for giving up that kind of points defensively. That's the only thing that I'm talking about. Plain Folk says, I can't imagine getting a starting edge in the second round, especially late. I can't either. Edge take a super long time to develop on the... Yeah, they do. They do. Taylor's more of power. Hines is more of shifty. Well, he says swifty, but I'm assuming he means shifty. Mack is elusive with power and size. So, yeah, they're all three very, very good running backs. Brendan Allen, love your content, man. Need a better mic, though. I need a better mic. I use a blue Snowball rather than a Yeti, and I don't plan on buying a Yeti. Okay, what I plan on end up doing, to be honest with you, is to get, it's like a lanyard kind of thing where it clips on right here. All right. So that's what I plan on getting. They're about $130. Anyhow, just to let you know, that's what my plan is. Just unsubbed and then resubbed. Okay, and it didn't come up for some reason. Let me go look why. Because it should have, and I don't understand why it's not. So let me go into my Streamlabs, pop that bad boy up, look at my dashboard, and find out why the subs keeps turning off. Now, I should have a save settings. There it is, settings saved. Now it should be on there. And I don't know why it wouldn't be. That's interesting and odd all at the same time. So I'm sorry if you guys subbed and it didn't pop in there. For some reason, my subscriptions was not listed for some reason, saved as an announcement. And it should have been. Oh, well. That happens, I guess. Still need to figure some things out. This is still new. I'm still working things out on my own. So, JDW, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. If the Colts sign Justin Houston, the only player they have lost is Autry and picked up two guys. Yeah, but neither of them are worth a darn. And Houston only got 8. He didn't get a lot of pressures at all. He got like 8 sacks, but no pressures outside of that, and that's the problem. It all has to do with pressures. We need young youth. Now, I get we have some youth on the edge, but all of them are unproven over their careers. So I'm a little scared. Mm-hmm. Just Plain Folks says, Harrison, do you have a regular Colts channel? Why don't you spend this time real quick, Harrison, and let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, I'm Harrison. I work with UK Colts fans. We're basically the Colts fans of across the pond. We are growing slowly. Yes, we do have a YouTube channel. It is called UK Colts Fans, really creatively. Funny you talk about Justin Houston. If any of you guys are free tomorrow night, roughly the same time, I'll tweet it out. at Harrison Pod Vlog. I'll tweet it out. But me and my co-host Xavier, we're doing a breakdown film room of Justin Houston. Well, I say we are. I'm going to say what I'm seeing. He's going to say what he's seeing. He's a bit more clicked on than me with all the little intricates and little movements and hand placement. I'm just going to be like, that was a good play. That was a bad play. So yeah, come and check us out. YouTube, UK Colts fans, Twitter, at Harrison Pod Vlog. If you follow me, I probably will follow back because I love interactions. And from there, you'll find a whole network of us across the world.
All right. So a lot of you were kind of yelling at me about the youth that we have, Teray Lewis, Banagoo, even Al-Qadim Muhammad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying they haven't proven themselves. Teray hasn't been able to stay healthy. I love Kimoko Teray, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. And then when he did get back, he was unable to get pressures and sacks like he was before the injury. Ben Banagoo's had an issue with effort during practice, right? So that's why he doesn't play very much, and he hasn't really came out. Now Lewis is more of a defensive tackle. I see Lewis. I could see Lewis being an edge guy. He had a very similar situation to what Ben Banagoo was early on with effort. So we'll see. But all in all, I mean, none of these guys have put together an entire season yet, and some of them have been here 3 years now. So we gotta see something. I'm not gonna go, well, this guy right here is worthy of taking that number one spot because he hasn't shown it yet. I think, does he have the traits to do so? Absolutely. Some of these guys, I love Kimoko Teray, but he has to show me that he is ready to take that spot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, for me personally, you always want a Robert Mathis and a Dwight Freeney, don't you? To say, you want a pairing. It's great having DeForest Buckner. Mm-hmm. It's great having Al-Qadim, Teray, Ben Banagoo. But you always want two guys. You want a quarterback to already lose the game before he's even come out of the tunnel. Famous saying over here, Manchester United, famous soccer team, and their players used to say when they came to the Highbury, which is the old Arsenal ground, they're looking at these giant football players in a really close-knit tunnel, and the game was already lost mentally. So for me personally, yes, it's great having youth coming through, but we need another guy. We need another big name, another giant of a man to say.
Yep, I completely agree. Now, I just got a super chat, and I'm a little ticked off that there it is. It just showed up. There was a delay I have in my super chats. And thank you, Ant Rogers, for donating $5 through the super chat with that question. What up, LO? I have been hearing some chatter about us taking linebacker earlier than we might expect. Your thoughts? The guy I'm hearing is Baron Browning from Ohio State. Well, the Colts do have a huge amount of respect when it comes to Ohio State players, as we've seen. Lewis, we got Malik Hooker, Paris Campbell. Ohio State guys are big with Chris Ballard, so that could be a legit situation. So I appreciate that. And thank you so much for the super chat to actually show that actually works over there. All right, that's cool. It'll disappear after 1 minute, but I wanted to make sure it stayed up long enough so that everybody be able to see. So that is really, really cool. Thank you so much. When it comes to Baron Browning, that's an interesting aspect because he does fit what Ballard actually likes as well. So, it's possible. I mean, it is possible. I don't know if they're going to go for where he might be expected to go. I mean, because the Colts don't have a third-round pick this year currently, and I think their first two picks are probably already spent before the draft has even started. That's my problem. besides Kyle Pitt, whatever tight end in the draft could be a sneaky pick. I honestly, obviously, I don't think Kyle Pitts is not going to go to the Colts. All right, he ain't going to make it out of the top 10. I really don't. I think he's going to be one of the very first. I think he's going to be one of the very first non-quarterbacks to go in this draft. I really, really do. Outside of that, I really don't. I don't know. I haven't looked at all the tight ends yet, so I don't know which tight end they would grab. But if they do, I wouldn't expect it earlier than the 4th round. I would not expect a tight end before the 4th round. Benbanagu is the last on my list of breakouts because Lewis jumped. Yeah. Lewis had a big jump this past season. I think you need an LT to protect your franchise quarterback. Now, yes, you do need a left tackle. You don't need a superstar left tackle, though. Okay, Jason? You need an average guy. Last year, we did not have any average guys to replace Anthony Costanzo. We had trash to protect Anthony Costanzo. Okay? Yeah. I mean, literally, both those guys, Chaz Green and LaRaven Clark, were trash left tackles. If we get even an average to above average left tackle to go beside Quentin Nelson with a little bit of help with chips and stuff at the tight end position, I think he would do absolutely fine. That's just my opinion on that. That's what my thought. Because honestly, once we pay Smith and Nelson, we're going to have, without paying a left tackle, once we pay Smith and Nelson, we'll have the second highest paid offensive line in the NFL at $73 million a year on the offensive line, which is a third of the team salary cap. That's a lot of money on a salary cap for just the offensive line. Just saying. I'm just saying. Okay, so guys, it has been over an hour now. I want to thank so much for Harrison joining me here on the stream. Ant Rodgers, PSU tight end. Pat F is going to be a solid tight end, projected to be a first rounder last year. Okay. Just Plain Folks says tight end would be would probably be a 5th round pick. But yeah, I agree. It's going to be a pass rusher or a left tackle. I would not be utterly upset if it's a left tackle, as long as it's one of those, like, if we use 21 on a left tackle, it better be a blue chip left tackle. That's all I got to say. One of those big dogs got to be dropping to 21 for us to use it. That's just my thought. But guys, I got to go. Colts Law, did you hear about 25 meeting Coach Reich and having Tommy Tremble tight end? No, I haven't actually paid attention to that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. Don't forget, smash that like button down there so it helps with the analytics, gets this video out to more people. Thank you again, Harrison, for joining me. I think we had a really good conversation today. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I'd say always a pleasure.
All right. All right. Well, thanks again. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Harrison from UK Colts Fans. This is Colts Law, and as usual, I want you to have a good one.
See you later, guys.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.